Hi, my name is Emily, and today in this video I'm going to be defining and describing the English language in terms of it being a learning area within the Australian curriculum, and then I'll be providing an example of what this might look like within a Year 2 classroom in terms of teaching and learning. I'll then be shifting the focus to literacy in terms of it being a general capability across the curriculum, and then lastly I'll just be explaining what I think the key differences between the two are. So firstly, let's begin with the English language. So this refers to oral communication. English is the most predominantly used language in Australia, so this is including written and spoken communication. And arguably, it could be suggested that living in Australia without having even a basic knowledge of the English language would prove difficult to effectively kind of get by within Australian society. So English as a learning area within the Australian curriculum is comprised of 3 different interrelated strands. This is language, literature and literacy, and this obviously involves being taught within the English language. So there are also 2 modes of language that are emphasised within the Australian curriculum, and this includes learning expressive language, which relates to oral communication, and then receptive language, which relates to listening and understanding oral language. So an example of how English language might be taught within a Year 2 classroom that aligns with the curriculum could be to read out a story loud to the class and then ask them to recount details of the story back to you. So things such as plot or character or what happened in different parts of the story. And this would be a good way to assess the development of a child's expressive and receptive language skills. So just next, I'm going to shift to literacy. So literacy refers to the reading and writing, and this is something that obviously expands across every area within the curriculum that you'll need it for. So literacy as a general capability within the curriculum has 2 overarching processes, and this is being able to comprehend text, which is being able to understand it, and then also being able to create it or compose it. So each learning area of the curriculum has provides a description of what literacy will look like in that specific subject. Literacy is obviously a multifaceted process in that students may demonstrate literacy in a particular subject, but might not be as strong in another subject as well. So an example of how literacy might be taught within a Year 2 classroom, and this aligns with the curriculum, could be helping children to decipher between different types of text. So this includes imaginative, informative, and persuasive text. So a teacher could explain these different types of text and show examples to the children, and then help teach them the different characteristics of the different text. And then the learning of this would be evident when children start to kind of grasp an understanding of how to decipher between the different types of text and distinguish the features included in them. So from this information, I think the key difference between English language and literacy in terms of the curriculum is that English language refers to the development of oral language forms of communication and understanding them, and then literacy refers to the understanding and creating of text. So although English and literacy are interconnected, you might say that language could be considered a basis for literacy development, as development of language is thought to be a biologically inbuilt process in the human brains, whereas literacy generally requires a bit of assistance to learn. Yeah, and just lastly, an example of an activity that could encompass both language and literacy within a year two classroom would be by getting a child to read a book aloud to you, something that they're not familiar with, so we can really assess their language and literacy skills. Um, yeah, so that's it for today. Thank you so much for listening. Bye.